Hi, hello, and howdy. My name is Erin of Essentially Erin, and welcome back to my channel. So today, if you do not follow me on social media, then you are seeing me for the first time with the box braids that I got put in about a week ago. I've wanted to do braids for a very long time. I used to get my hair braided very often as a child. My Grammy would sit us down in the living room. We'd all watch Discovery Health Channel and she'd spend hours braiding our hair. Now, there is a lot of history and a lot of culture attached to box braids. I am a biracial Black woman. It is a big part of my culture, and it is actually something that I used to get done very often growing up. But unfortunately, kids are cruel, and after one particularly traumatic incident, I remember going home, pulling out all of my braids, and I have yet to ever get them again. I have wanted them for a very long time, but unfortunately, we live in a world where people like to put each other in a box, and because I am both Black and white, a lot of times I have been made to feel like I don't belong to either group and therefore cannot adhere to the cultural norms of either group. This is something that I really just needed to give myself permission to do, and I needed to explore what this means for me and my racial identity. I am 100% glad that I did it. I have learned so much about my head, my hair, my spirit, my heart. So much has been learned in this last week. It's exhausting, but I'm here to share a little bit about that journey with you guys, and I decided to do a video diary of my first week with box braids. Now, before we jump into that, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video if you want to see more box braid content or more curly hair content in general. I've got a ton of really fun videos coming up for you guys. Now, with all that heavy stuff out of the way, let's jump in. Now, when I posted on Instagram that I had gone ahead and gotten box braids, I opened up a Q&A because I knew that a lot of people, and particularly the people that are, we'll say, melanin deficient, that are on my timeline, may or may not know anything about braids or the braid culture, and they probably had a lot of questions that they never felt like there was a safe space to really ask them. I wanted to give that. So before we actually jump into my video diary, I wanted to go over some of the questions that got asked because a lot of them were asked multiple times by multiple people. So I figured I would just add that into the beginning here, answer those questions up front, get it out of the way. So the first one that I got asked was, how long did they take? I went to a Nigerian braiding salon in Dallas. Nigerians do not mess around when it comes to hair. They were pretty booked, but they had both the braiders and their children in the salon. So when one braider would be finished about 2/3 down my braid, she'd have several rows of those about 2/3 done. She'd move on to another client, start working on rows for her, and her children would come over and actually finish out my braids for me. They were all super sweet, really nice, cannot recommend it enough. Overall, it took about 4.5, 5 hours. Which is shockingly kind of fast as far as I can tell, but it's because we all had 1 to 2 people working on our heads at a time. The next question I got was, how long will they last? Through this journey, you'll see more in the video diary to come. On average, they say braids should last a person, depending on how they care for them, anywhere between 4 to 8 weeks. Because of my hair texture, I will be lucky to get 4 weeks out of these braids. You'll see in the video, but I already have several that are already like having my actual hair kind of push through the braiding hair, which is fine. It just means that because I have fine, thinner hair texture, it's not made to hold these braids for longevity. Where did I get my hair? I actually just ordered this braiding hair off of Amazon. I've ordered pre-stretched hair because I didn't want to have to deal with the braiders having to stretch and detangle it in the salon, so I wanted to save them that time. It's a little bit more expensive, but really not that much. It's 26 inches long, so I don't know if you can see. I can back the camera up so you can see the actual length. Ignore my water bottle there. So pretty darn long. Definitely not used to having hair this long. So I will be sure to link the hair in the comment section or the description section below for you guys as well. How do you wash them? I got asked this question a couple of times, and I know it was not intended to be rude, but if you did not know, generally speaking, people with textured hair, whether that be curly or coily, we do not have to wash our hair as often as people that have wavy or straight hair. Usually we go maybe once a week with washing our hair, maybe once every 7 to 10 days. With braids, you really want to focus a lot on the scalp, so I could probably go about 10 to 14 days without washing. And when I wash, I will wash exactly the same way that I wash my hair regularly. The difference really comes down to how you rinse it and then how you dry it, because obviously there is a lot more hair that you're dealing with. So you really want to focus on the scalp. You obviously won't use like a scalp scrubber. You'll really use your hands and kind of just massage it in between the braids. Then you rinse it out fully. You really are going to have to kind of wrap it in a towel to try to absorb as much of that moisture as possible, because oh my gosh, the neck pain, which is another question that I got, is are they heavy? Yes. 100% they are heavy. I have also learned this last week, I do not have the neck strength to hold up braids for long periods of time. It's been really interesting learning that, especially given that I already knew that I had, joint and ligament issues. I'm adapting. It's definitely been a learning experience with it, but they are 100% heavy. So when you wash them, they will be even heavier, which is also why you don't see a lot of people with braids going in water and swimming. Do they give you a headache? I have actually been very, very thankful and grateful that they have not given me a headache. The only headache that I did have was because I think I slept with them wrong, like I slept in them wrong, and they like cricked my neck a little bit, which does answer another question, is how do you sleep with them? You do have to wrap them up at night, so I would recommend a satin and silk scarf under a bonnet, which kind of keeps everything in its place. Sleeping with them has been a journey for me, just because it is already very difficult for me to get comfortable while sleeping. So finding a position that didn't feel like it was pulling on my hair, as well as didn't feel like I was having to like sleep like Dracula, was a challenge this last week. So you will see that in my video diaries. I don't pull any punches. I'm completely honest with you guys in these video diaries. But you do sleep with them in a bonnet. You obviously want to protect the hair as much as possible. You want to try to reduce frizz, which is what that bonnet does at night. It really comes down to how you put your hair in the bonnet and how it holds at night, which is really what determines like how comfortable I was sleeping. And on that comment of pulling on the hair, so something that I got asked quite a bit was, do they pull at your scalp? So yeah, they kind of have to attach the hair and stuff like that. There are different types of braids that you can get. But just so you are aware, a good braider will not have you leave the salon feeling scalped. Like that is something that I am very, very grateful to the salon that I went to, is as she was braiding, probably like once every like 5 to 10 rows, she would check in and be like, is this too tight? Is this okay? Like, we don't want you to be in pain. And every single time it already was, but I let her know, like, I'm not tender-headed anymore. My Grammy kind of got rid of that in us as kids. But in general, like, the pulling itself will hurt, but as she's braiding down, it does slack off a little bit and it doesn't hurt as much. And then it takes about a week for them to really loosen up and move. And I was sure to give myself like scalp massages with a little bit of oil to help kind of loosen that up a little bit as the week went on, which really helped. All right, so those were the big questions that I seemed to get on loop through my Instagram Q&A. So I just figured I would drop those here. But I will let you guys watch the rest of my video diary, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for learning and growing and loving with me. I appreciate you guys. And oh yeah, we just hit 1,000 subscribers, which is amazing. I'm so happy that all of you guys are here. I have absolutely loved this last year of connecting with you guys, and I'm super excited to explore new content and figure out how we can all continue to essentially be ourselves. Hi guys, okay, so it is the end of day one. I literally just had the idea to do a video diary of my first week when I was washing my face, which is why you see me in this really attractive Chef Boyardee or Chef Boyardont bonnet that I had to buy because my braids would not fit in the bonnet that I currently own. So I just wanted to give like a little bit of a breakdown and an overview of what happened today. I will obviously show you guys what things look like tomorrow because it's already like tucked away in here. But today was really great. I found an African hair braiding salon relatively close between all of my friends here. Made an appointment, showed up at 7 a.m., started getting my hair braided at about 7:45-ish. Overall, it took about 4.5, 5 hours. And that was her splitting her time between a couple of different clients, and her daughters were helping to braid my hair. They did a really great job. She made sure that it wasn't too tight against my scalp, which I know is something that's super key. She made sure that the hair was really secure and that it was sealed. She did seal it with boiling water, and then she crimped the ends for me. Crimped the ends for me. I do have some slight tenderness that I'm already experiencing, but that's just more because my scalp is not used to being manipulated in this way, or hasn't been in a very, 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 very long time. I did take a Tylenol before I went to bed because I've been told that the tenderness is probably going to increase tomorrow. But yeah, today was a good day. I'm really glad that I got it done and that I like took this step forward into like reclaiming the semi-trauma of my past and like taking up this space again as a biracial Black woman. And I'm excited to learn a lot more on this journey, because like when I had my hair braided as a kid, there wasn't much talk about like how to like care for your hair and stuff like that. So I'm watching a ton of videos and reading a bunch of articles. So I'm excited to take you guys through my first week with box braids. I am gonna make probably a series of videos on all the things that I learn, as well as tips and tricks or questions that people might ask throughout this whole process that I can maybe answer in some comments. But I will see you guys in the morning. Okay, good morning. So sleeping was interesting. It actually didn't hurt sleeping on it, which is good. I was worried about that a little bit. I do think that I want to try to find a bonnet that doesn't require me to put my hair on top of my head, because I think pulling it up also creates like unnecessary tension around the edges. So maybe you need to find one of those like sacking, like hanging bonnets. Sorry for my sleep face. I literally like got it like 10 minutes ago. So yeah, so I'm gonna take it down, show you guys what I'm dealing with. I am feeling a little bit of like neck pain. I think that's just due to like the overall weight of the hair. But for the most part, like it's just tender to the touch. It doesn't feel tender just like existing. Like right now it doesn't feel anything, but if I like run my fingers over the edges, I can feel the tenderness. It's just so much hair. Oh, they're so stiff. Okay, so today my goal is to like go through and trim the residual ends that are here. Obviously my actual hair stops a lot earlier than the end, so I don't have to worry about trimming my actual hair off, which a lot of people do accidentally. But I'm just gonna let my hair settle first for today, and the goal is gonna be to like let it loosen up and get rid of a little bit of the stiffness that's in the hair. But overall, it doesn't hurt too much. So yeah, so today's just gonna be a relatively normal day. If you've been following the channel for a while, then you know that I generally do not like my hair touching my neck. So this is gonna be interesting to try to get through this without always putting my hair up. I'll probably pull it back some of the day just so that it's not like the synthetic hair, just so it's not like itching against the back of my neck. I have been using the Gimme hair ties that I got off of Amazon, which for one loop you can get all the hair on there, but I did find some larger hair bands yesterday at Ulta, which I will be using as well. So yeah, so we're just gonna go through the day today. Hope these loosen up a little bit, and then we'll check back in at the end of the day and see how I feel. Okay, y'all, it is the end of day 3. They are definitely getting more mobile, and I am learning to make those daily adjustments. How I do things like getting in and out of cars so that like my hair doesn't get stuck in a door like it did today. Like not only am I just not used to box braids obviously, but I'm not used to having this like hair this long. So I'm not used to having hair that like trails behind me. It is super late here in Texas and I fly home to Seattle tomorrow. I am really nervous / excited to show my fiance. He's seen a picture of them and he said he likes them a lot and he loves them. But I don't know how he's going to react in person, so this should be interesting. But I'm really tired, so I'm gonna keep tonight's message short. I'm gonna head to bed because I have a really late flight tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's it. No real pain, just the same kind of tenderness whenever I press onto the little, like where it attached. But other than that, Gucci, like they feel great. And let me just say, like, I was super nervous about wearing braids in public and having people make assumptions about my race or how I present, and the Black people in Dallas know how to hype a girl up. Like strangers in the street have me feeling good. Like there are so many like women especially that have come up to me randomly in like restaurants or cafes and be like, I love your braids, oh my gosh, they look so good. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, y'all know how to make a girl feel special. But yeah, we'll see how things go when I get back to rainy, wet, cold Seattle, and I'll keep you guys posted. All right, so I'm back in front of my very boring gray wall. Don't worry, we plan on putting a little zhuzh here for you guys at some point. So we are on day 4 braids? I don't know, what day is it? Today's Tuesday. Yeah, I got them on Saturday, sorry. Jet lag. So I am back home from Texas. Today is, I'm not feeling great. I'm not gonna lie, I have a headache that I didn't have the last couple of days, and I have a lot more neck stiffness. I don't know if that's just due to traveling though. So just traveling, sleeping on different beds, different pillows, my joints tend to get like very affected by these small and subtle changes. It's a really big pain in the ass, but it is what it is. Kind of just have to deal with it. So I'm not sure if that's due to the hair or due to all the traveling. It does itch a little bit more today, but still no pain or like it's not hurting my actual head itself, which is great. The itching, I think, is just coming from I feel like it's due to like a lot of the openness of my scalp right now. I'm just not used to it being so exposed. But the cool thing is that if it does feel itchy, I can kind of like scratch it as one where I just like move all the hair on my head and it itches it, which is great. You know, probably like causing more wrinkles this way, but I don't care. Yeah, so I've got a day of work ahead of me, but for the most part, aside from like the headache and neck stiffness, they feel pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I really can't stand having my hair this long. Like it's a really big adjustment for me. And now I like remember why I always keep my hair short. But the learning process, figuring it out as we go. I'm excited to start like experimenting with different styles over the next couple of days. So you guys might see that either in this video or in a separate video if I figure out a couple of different styles that I love. I did find these like, I don't know if they're supposed to be headbands or hair ties, but like super long, like big ones that are great for both like tying off the end of a braid or I even had it like up in a ponytail, like on the top of my head whenever I was traveling today. So these work really well, much better than the scrunchie. The scrunchie is a good accessory to put on like after you've secured it, because I like having things like tight to my head. So I don't like having just one wrap and then like hoping that it just stays there with a prayer. So those are really good. So I will be sure to like link any of the products that I have been using or loving or that work for me in the description below. I'm also going to try to get a couple of things that my cousin Brianna recommended that I get that might help with some of the itchiness or might help just kind of soothe if my scalp does continue to be like any type of tender over the next couple of days. Like if it's kind of just like the initial shock of everything for the last couple of days may have like numbed me slightly to the actual pain that my head might be in. So just in case, I'm gonna get a couple of things to prep, but anything that I get and or use, we will talk about here. So I will talk to you guys later or tomorrow, depending on how the rest of the day goes. Okay, we are on day 5. Little bit of itching has started. It's primarily at like the back of my head, like right down here. And I think that's a lot due to the fact that, again, I'm not used to having hair like constantly touch the back of my head. Not the back of my head, the back of my neck. But other than that, the tenderness really has almost entirely dissipated. The only way that like I itch my whole head is like do the scalp thing, but I'm not having to like scratch or dig into anything. It doesn't itch that much. Today I am going to, for the first time in my life, try to do my edges. So I've watched some YouTube videos to try to understand it. I have an edge comb, so I'm gonna try that. The only thing that is slightly concerning me is that I have started to see several of my ones that are like further back here start to already kind of unravel. Now these were sealed, and I can tell that this is actually my real hair, not the synthetic hair. So I am likely going to have to re-braid a couple of them, but for the most part, it's all still holding pretty well. If I get a lot more of these in the next week, like fraying a lot up there. So if more of them happen like this over the next week, we will see what that means. But yeah, for the most part, feeling good today. I'm gonna try to do my edges. I'll show you guys the results. Don't make fun of me if they're terrible, but this is all a learning process, so we're gonna figure it out together. Okay, so I went ahead and laid my edges and I put a silk scarf on it so that it can set while the gel hardens and kind of lay it flat. I'm not good at it, to be completely honest. Definitely something that's going to require a lot more practice. I also think that it doesn't help that I have very fine hair. So I know a lot of people, when they lay their edges, there's a lot more hair present, but I'm noticing that, like, aside from like maybe one swoop here and one swoop here, I don't have a ton of baby hair to kind of work with. So it's gonna be really interesting kind of figuring out how to do that, because I'm not gonna obviously take hair out of my braids to lay my edges. But yeah, it's a work in progress. I think maybe a toothbrush would actually work better than the edge comb when dealing with a less hair than what the edge comb seems to be for. So we're gonna keep experimenting, but I'll show you guys what these look like after it sets, and we'll see. Okay, so they are set. They're not great, but they're also not bad. So I definitely have some learning to do, but overall, you know, I did what I needed to do. So we're pretty close to the end of today. I am still experimenting with the best way to sleep with them in, but I will show you guys a video of a couple of different techniques that I've tried, what seems to work best for me. I'm planning a bunch of different box braid content for you guys, but overall we're at, like, I think it's like almost 6 p.m. here now. Yeah. Oh yeah, I put my hair in a ponytail. This is just easier for me when I'm working, but yeah, looking still pretty good for day 5. See you guys tomorrow. All right, good morning. We are on day 6. I was really excited last night because I saw a YouTube hack that showed how I could fit all of my braids inside the bonnet that I love, Bernadette, my orange bonnet. You guys know her from my Sleeping with Curly Hair video. I've had that bonnet for years. She's never steered me wrong. Absolutely loved it. I was so excited to try out the hack last night, and it did work. I was able to fit all of my hair in that. However, I don't know how y'all do it. It's not comfortable. Like, sleeping with this much hair is not comfortable. Like, if you sleep on your side, your braids like push up, which causes unnecessary tension on your hair, which is obviously not good for like your hairline or your scalp. So like the whole point is to sleep with it relaxed. But if you sleep with it relaxed, if you lay on your back, you just got like this giant bundle of hair just putting pressure on your head and your neck. I am a stomach sleeper, so for the most part, I lay flat and I turn my head to either side. Obviously, I don't lay with my face down because I'm not gonna smother myself, but like no matter what direction I turned, there was like a lump of hair just pushing on my head and tilting my head up. So if anybody has any suggestions or like a way that I can put my hair up at night that doesn't cause unnecessary tension and scalp me, but also keeps my hair from sitting on the back of my head, please leave a comment, let me know, because this is signed a very irritable, tired woman. Please help. Now, today's morning routine, since I am back home and I'm starting to get a little bit more settled back into my routine, it is still my 3-month growth challenge. So we are gonna start using some scalp and or hair growth serums. Last night I applied the Curlsmith nighttime one. So today with you guys, I am going to apply their scalp stimulating booster, which is for nourishment, energy, and vitality. You are supposed to put this on in the morning. It has a blend of a bunch of ingredients, some of which I cannot pronounce, so I'm not going to butcher them. However, I will link it in the comment section below. I know that braids can be really great for hair growth, and so that was part of the reason why I wanted to get them, is I wanted to give my hair a break from being manipulated all the time. So we're going to also add this into our morning routines. Essentially what I just do is I just dab it into these scalp lines and then I just massage it a little lightly. You never want to rub, obviously, to create unnecessary amounts of frizz. But yeah, so I'm just gonna do this and then I'm going to kind of just like pull my hair back like this so I can eat some breakfast and just chill for a little bit before I get started with my work day. All right. Okay, so gonna go eat some breakfast and then start my work day. I did notice last night when I tried to fix that one I was telling you guys about yesterday, I tried to rebraid it. I don't know whether or not my hair is actually gonna last the full like 6 to 8 weeks with these in them, just because my hair is so fine, and generally braiding is meant for medium to coarse hair, and my hair is fine to medium hair. So I am already seeing a semi amount of like frizz and fraying in a few braids. So we'll see, like all like that's my real hair just already kind of coming out of some of them. So we'll see just over the next couple of weeks what they look like. I'm fully okay. I know I paid for them obviously, and I paid a good amount for them, but I'm okay if this results in me only having braids for like 3 to 4 weeks instead of like 4 to 8 weeks, just because it may not be what is made for my hair, and that's fully okay too. I have to come to terms with the fact that I am biracial, which means that like all of the benefits that a lot of Black people have with their hair potentially being medium to coarse, where mine is fine to medium hair, like my hair just may not be made for braids, and that's okay too. This whole experiment is learning. It's still gonna be great for my hair break wise. If I start to feel like it's really pulling or stressing my scalp or potentially going to damage my hair the longer that I keep them in, I have no problem taking it out. Like I'm not gonna risk my hair for the sake of an experiment. So that is day 6 in the morning. For the most part, my hair is still looking pretty good. This weekend, we're probably gonna start experimenting with some actual like styles, like putting it up, or like, you know, I really wanna try space buns. You guys know I love space buns. So I'm excited to kind of experiment a little bit more with them. The biggest thing is you don't wanna constantly be pulling and putting your hair up when it is in braids, because that does put unnecessary and undue tension on your scalp. So I am gonna be really intentional about how often I do put my hair up versus wear it down, or at least wear it back in a ponytail. So yeah, like having to pretty much need to wear my hair down a lot of the time has been a learning curve, especially because like my hair is still loosening up. So the direction that they braid it in is obviously the direction that it kind of sets in until the braids loosen up a little bit. So like for me, if I'm just like doing random stuff, I'll just be like typing and I end up looking like Cousin It with my hair just falling in front of my face, which drives me insane. So yeah, we're still learning, we're still growing. I'm very tired. So I'm excited to try a completely different sleep routine tonight and see if I actually get some sleep. But I will pop back on here tonight and show you the YouTube hack that I saw with how to put my hair in a bonnet, a smaller bonnet, and maybe you guys have some tips and tricks for me. All right, it is the morning. Sorry that I did not record last night. It was a rough night. I had a panic attack, so my eyes were puffy today, crying. But I did still manage to put my hair up into a bonnet. I did try a variation of the YouTube hack that I saw that actually kind of worked a little bit better. I split my hair in 2. So I'm gonna take down my bonnet and show you guys what I did. There's no graceful way to do this. All right, this is the look. Bonjour. All right, so the method that I saw on YouTube that was talking about how it's more comfortable was you split your hair in half, and now normally this half wouldn't be up here, but essentially you just like crisscross and wrap it and then like hold it above your head and then put all that in a bonnet. But that's what was leading to the hair like slipping down here and then pushing up against my ear while I slept, and that was super uncomfortable. So last night I just tried separating it into 2 halves and kind of top bunning 1 half, and then I did that little like crisscross wrap for the second half, and that was definitely more comfortable. But yeah, so I'm just gonna get my day started here. It looked pretty decent today. I did come to that realization yesterday that I doubt that it's gonna last as long in my hair, just because my hair is fine. I let myself kind of sit with that yesterday for a little bit because I didn't feel great about it, but my best friend reminded me that this is all about learning and growing and figuring out what's best for my hair. And learning more about my identity, as well as like letting you guys know, so that if you have similar hair to me, that you know like whether or not this is gonna work, whether it's gonna be a waste of money or what. So I'm just gonna let my hair sit like this while I go make some breakfast and get ready for my day. But we are at 1 week with box braids. So they've really started to loosen up quite a bit, which means that soon I can start playing with different hairstyles, which I'm really excited to do. I'm gonna try to make a video about that this weekend, put it up on YouTube in a couple of weeks. But yeah, overall, aside from the weight, I still love them. So yeah, it's really just adjusting to the weight and the length of the hair, because literally like, I have not had hair like this long and actively this long in years. So I'm still very, very glad that I did this for my hair and for myself. Like, is really healing for like my spirit and my heart. So yeah, I will see you guys tonight whenever I put my hair up for the evening, and we will talk to you then. All right, it is day 7. I have been crazy busy today, so I didn't get to see you guys this morning. For the most part, not much of a difference between yesterday and today. However, I am noticing that it's significantly looser at the root. So this is 1 week with braids. It's been a really fun and frustrating week. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about my hair. I've learned a lot about my identity and how I feel about things. I've learned a lot about my body, such as I don't have the neck strength to support braids long term. As far as what I've learned about my hair is I have to accept the fact that my hair texture is not really meant to hold this style for very long. It's not an attack on me, it's not an attack on my identity. It is just a fact. I have very fine hair, which unfortunately means that like if you look at some of these ones, like you'll see a lot of my hair is already starting to break through, despite like the fact that I sleep in bonnets every night and everything like that. Like I'm doing everything right, but you're already seeing a lot of my own hair pull through. And it's just because I don't have coarse or thick textured hair. So it's just not made to hold this style long term, and that's okay too. So I'm thinking that I could probably get maybe 4 weeks out of it if I'm lucky, but if I do feel like it is potentially risking or messing with the integrity of my hair or my curl pattern, I have no problem taking it out. It's not a waste for me. It doesn't disregard my feelings for braids. As you guys know, I absolutely love them. It's just, it is what it is. It's one of those things where not all things that are for you are actually meant for you. It's just a fact of life. But I will say the best thing and biggest thing that I learned by doing this is that I do actually feel more essentially myself than I have in a really long time. And it's a really good feeling. So even if I take these out tomorrow, I don't regret this for a single instance. And I hope that if it's something that you have been debating about or thinking about doing, that you take that leap, that you understand the importance, the significance, both culturally and spiritually, that what this means to other people as well as to yourself. There is a lot of history behind protective styles. I encourage you to educate yourselves on it before venturing into this endeavor. I know a lot of people think, especially people outside of the BIPOC community, they think it's just hair. It's so much more than hair. And it's so much more than hair to so many other cultures. I mean, there are cultures that literally have an entire hair cutting ceremony. It's more than just hair. Respect the fact that culturally it may be just hair to you, and that is not a belief that's held by other people. We're all just trying to exist on this earth. Let's just all accept that different things mean different things to different people. I learned what this means to me, and I hope throughout this whole journey you've learned what this could mean for you.